you're supposed to. Man.
Suffering's life. Suffering is life. That's what life is suffering. And then what you do in between all the suffering is you try to find those good bits of time, of joy, of happiness, and absorb those when they happen and take note of them. So they become a really positive memory in your life, because guess what? There's going to be more bad and more bad and more bad and more bad all throughout. It's about suffering and enjoying the little things and the small times you get.
I'm glad you said that, because boom, look at that. The Four Noble Truths are the foundational teachings in Buddhism that provide a framework of understanding. The first one, the truth of what?
Suffering.
Life involves suffering. Now, the way we were taught, all life is suffering. This is a little Americaned out. You know what I mean? As you know, in Asian languages, they're not as flowery. You know what I mean? There's not as many adjectives and adverbs and pronouns. They come right out and say a lot of stuff that's just, their language is different in that way.
Yeah.
But the truth of suffering, guess what? Suffering is true. It is the number one truth. It is the most important truth. All life is suffering. And it can be experienced in various forms: pain, loss, dissatisfaction, disappointment. The truth acknowledges that suffering is an inherent part of existence.
And there's people that won't admit that. Yeah. There's people that won't admit that they suffer, that they're suffering. And they really don't think they are. But there's a lot of suffering that just needs to be admitted.
Once they can admit it, then they can go to number 2, right?
Yes.
The origin of the suffering. Suffering arises from craving, attachment, and ignorance.
Oh, boy.
Refusing to take all information in because you've emotionally attached yourself to one idea, theory, thought, or side of an argument. Anyway, craving and attachment to transient states and things perpetuate this cycle of suffering.
Been through that. We got through, so I'm on 3. Let's go through 3. No, let's talk about 2. Talk about 2.
No, you're right. No, it's just the fact that we're human. Everything, when you wake up in the morning, you crave something, whether it be coffee, water, cigarette, yeah, whatever it is. We're humans, and at our very basic core, especially the older you get. For me, it's coffee. I need my dang coffee. You know what I'm saying? I'm a coffee man. But yeah, man.
And craving,
attachment. I mean, who's not attached to something? I'm going to take that Jalen Hurts jersey right behind you. I'm taking it tomorrow. I'm going to come and grab it and just walk away with it. You're not attached to it. Come try to take one of these guitars behind me and see how that works out for you.
I get you 2 12 gauges between the knees.
You won't walk out of here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. In fact, I'll make sure I end you in a way that when you fall, you don't even damage one of my guitars. Okay.
Well, I have chickens, and you would boom my cock.
Yeah. Exactly.
I have chickens.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Attachment. I'm attached to many things, right?
But that's right. But what have I said? What have I said before? Detach.
Right.
Detach. So that attachment's part of the detachment of the negative.
And I'm aware. I'd rather admit it. You know what I mean? A lot of suffering comes from people just not admitting. Like you were saying before, and it's funny because it's so true. A lot, and you see it every day. A lot of people suffer just because they can't be honest. They can't say, hey, man, I might have made a mistake. And maybe I didn't. Maybe I don't even see where I made a mistake. Well, but if you feel like I made a mistake, dude, our coolness, our friendship, what we're doing together is more important than that. You didn't call me out by name. You didn't steal from me. You didn't lie. You didn't slander me. You feel like I made a mistake. You feel like I didn't do this for you. You feel like I didn't talk to you, whatever. You know what, man? There's no reason to get too much into it. I apologize. Let's move on and do good things together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, man. And people refuse to do that. They're like, no, you're bad. I'm good. I'm good. And I'm like, that's such suffering. And
that's the perpetuate cycle. That's the perpetuate cycle that they're speaking of, because they'll start that cycle with the negativity or the lies or he or she. And then guess what happens? Once you do that, gotta get to the camera. Once you do that once, you're going to have to do that again to cover up that once. And now you got 2. And then there's going to be another couple times, and then it's going to be 4. And then that's perpetual cycle based off of one untruth in any situation in life. For that kind of life, and that's what they're talking about. That perpetual cycle, you don't want it. It's a negative one.
Correct.
You know? Oh, I love this.
Yeah. So the craving, the attachment. Once again, I'm saying I crave and I attach. I want to make sure as we go through all of these,
I attach my cards.
I'm not pretending like I don't do all of these things and create my own suffering, because I do. I do.
Yeah.
But I want everybody to know, hey, man, we're all just humans.
And we chose it.
We are. You know what we live in this thing because it's who we are, man. We live in a fallen thing. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. We have to sacrifice other things to live, whether it be animals, whether it be plants, whether it be other people's space, oxygen, water, you name it. You know what? We're humans. You know, the core of what we are is suffering, whether we're creating it for others or creating it for ourselves.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what it is. So where does that come from? Well, attachment and ignorance. Craving and attachment to transient states and things perpetuate the cycle of suffering. Transient states, transient things. Oh, I'm happy now. I am attached to being happy, but I'm only happy when I'm drunk. You know what I mean? I'm only happy when everything is perfect in my world. Well, how often is everything going to be perfect in your world, bro? Not you, everyone. Or me. Very seldom, if ever.
And I'll say a problem with that is a lot of people will base that happiness on another person.
Things they
How in the hell
a stranger on Facebook. A stranger on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? A stranger on Facebook disagrees with me politically, so I'm not happy and I'm suffering. What, bro?
No.
Your origin of suffering sucks. That is way too easy of an origin. That is way too easy of a pathway into your soul to create suffering, bro.
Yeah, that's like that's the shallow end of the pool.
Oh, and by the way, I'm talking to myself here. I am.
No, I know.
The guy in the camera. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, no, I know. But I'm just saying. I mean, this is just so dead on, and it's easy. Look at. I mean, there's just 4 steps, and they're very easy, really, to follow.
So, and I love it. And as Thich Nhat Hanh would say in Living Buddha, Living Christ, 1 and 2 are the same thing as we're all born sinners, basically. We are born in a fallen world to a sinful nature. We suffer. Our nature is suffering. Everything that is human and natural within us, not everything, but a lot of what is natural and human inside us just naturally creates suffering, bro. It just does. Lions eat monkeys, right? It's just lions create suffering for monkeys. It's just how the world is set up. Whales create suffering for smaller fish. It's just how this world is set up, right? The origin of it. I'm going to create things. I'm going to be attached to things, and I'm always going to be ignorant. Well, I'm always going to be ignorant of something. Well, no, of something in the fact that right now, no matter how long I live, I will never know as much about geothermal engineering as a geothermal engineer. No matter how long. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Or the rest of the countries in the world and how they actually live and perceive. Because we might perceive, and this is that to us, but it's not going to be the same to them.
Yes, and I can never truly know how you're feeling. I can only assume to know how you're feeling or trust the words you're telling me. But I can never really know. There's always going to be some ignorance there. And in life as humans, we are a selfish species. Ergo, therefore, and because of that, we are always going to experience some form of suffering because we are humans. So we live in some form of ignorance. Because ultimately feeling good or happiness is always, as humans, going to be at the front of who we are. Cravings, attachments. We're attached to the things that make us feel good. We crave the things that allow us to feel good.
Yeah.
So we're going to be ignorant to other things because those things are going to come first in our mind. And that's okay. We're humans.
Hey, after selfish, I think there should be parentheses or a slash, selfish or self-survive.
Meaning?
Well, like when you're your only person. When you're your only person, you're self-surviving. You're not being selfish. You're self-surviving.
Right.
In our world. You know, when you are on your own, when you are just a soul entity, you know, you're self-surviving through this path in this world. You're not being selfish. How can you be selfish when there's no other responsibility around you but you? I mean, you see that view?
I do. However,
come on, bring it. Bring it, sucker.
You know, the Buddhist monks would say things like, you can be selfish by being indisciplined. You can be selfish by choosing to sleep or read a book rather than meditate. You can be selfish by choosing to not work on your garden for self-discipline and mental, acuity, and do things that lower your body and mental acuity out of comfort and wanting to feel good. And I'm not telling you I'm necessarily.
No. You're right. Saying, if you're following,
this is what a Buddhist monk. If we're just gonna go that far with it,
yeah.
No, I'm not saying. Look, dude. Look, man. I have a hard time not eating too many cookies before I go to bed, so I am nowhere near any of these guys. Let's not. You know what I'm saying? No. I am a sugar coffee addicted man. And
neither one of us has gone over to be a monk. And I mean, you can go be a monk for a week if you want.
We're just inthering this stuff, but. I'm just saying,
I wish
you can be selfish even if you're all alone in that you're serving your physical earthly needs. And by yourself, can you become attached to something? Absolutely. You can live by yourself and become extremely attached to television shows, podcasts, certain snacks.
Michael Mann would be attached to his wiener. I'll throw in a Michael Mann joke right there. Thank you very much.
He's attached to some. I think his wiener's attached to a chicken. But anyway, regardless of that, that's a whole nother thing. We love you, Michael Mann.
Yes, we do. Good clip.
But if craving and attachment leads to suffering, and you live on your own, but you're craving nicotine, you're craving coffee. That craving is ultimately going to lead to attachment. It has nothing to do with anyone else, right?
That's your own self. That's your own self, sort of. But you do that. Everybody does that.
Oh yeah, no. Once again, I am not saying I am good at
no. But that's not a bad thing. That is self-care. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying some people might say is selfish or something like that. I'll turn around and smack them with the self-care.
Fair.
You know, because that's what I think. I think that for everybody. And I think everybody should do that more. Self-care instead of worrying about what Joe Schmo or Lo Smo or Ho Smo or Holo, whatever. Holo, remember? Wigger and Holo show. Let's go.
Wigger and Holo.
Yeah,
Wigger and Holo. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. It's everybody.
And what I like is you're walking right into 3. I don't know if you noticed this, but you are literally walking right into 3.
Let's go.
The truth of the cessation of suffering. Suffering can be ended by eliminating craving and attachment. When these are extinguished, suffering ceases. Which what I feel you were saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that when we take care of ourselves in the proper way, in the way we need to, spiritually first, then soul, then physically, mentally, emotionally, however, whatever order that is. When we take care of ourselves in the proper order, we don't crave and we don't attach things that we don't have control over that give us power over our misery. Ergo, Suffering can be ended by eliminating craving and attachment. When these are extinguished, suffering ceases. Am I right? Did you walk kind of right into that?
That's why I
And Cardman is like, I love it when a plan come together.
That's why I don't suffer. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm not reading ahead at all. I don't know this. We don't plan this. We don't talk about this. This is just off the cuff, bro. And I'm sitting here just telling you how I live and explaining things and talking about just little things. And then it's like, oh, we're leading into how Vern's living. Here's his next step, but how he believes. So I'm through step 3 at least. At least I'm on 4.
Absolutely. I love the fact that it's a natural flow. It's a really cool natural flow. I really dig that. And then finally, 4, the truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. The truth of the path of the cessation of suffering. The Noble Eightfold Path is the method to end suffering. This path includes right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration.
Boom. Boom.
Now you get all that in a row for me, and I'll take you to Vegas, and we'll win $1 billion. Because
Dude,
I don't know anyone that does the Eightfold Path right every day. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, that right there is why I need Jesus.
Let me look. This path includes right understanding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's looking at both sides. That's looking at all sides, no matter how many sides there are, and then making your intelligent decision. That's what that is. Right intention. That's just being a good person every day, as good as you can be. That's it. That's all they want, as you can be. Right speech. Well, I think no hate.
Real fast on right intention. I think that also means right motivation.
Yeah.
And I think right understanding is where compassion, what the Buddha calls the human staple. In the way that Christianity prioritizes love, Buddhism prioritizes compassion in almost the exact same way. However, the right understanding to me is understanding the motivation. That's what compassion is okay, you're coming at me, or we're friends, but I understand where you're coming from. I've taken the moment, I've taken the minute to understand where you're coming from. So when I deal with you, I can deal with you from a place of compassion, because I understand you're not just coming at me as something that I accept or do not accept. And I get to do whatever I want and behave in any way I want until you conform to what I can accept, or I've hurt you enough to get you away from me. But I've stopped that. And it's not about what I accept. It's about where you're coming from and me understanding that, right? So that would be right. That would be right understanding. Then right intention. Then that comes. So right understanding is about you, right? Yep. And how I deal with you, how I see you, what you are to me. Then right intention has to do with me. What are my motivations for dealing with you? Are they pure? You know what I mean? Are past traumas coming out when I'm dealing with you and I'm throwing that shit on you? You know what I mean? All kinds of stuff. Like
big shoulders.
Right. But well, I don't mean me and you specifically. I was using the term.
Hey, I'll play into it though. I'll carry it. Come on, bring it.
Right intention though.
You're my homie.
Me is that and I got you, dog. But right intention. You know what I mean? To me, is that's what that is are my intentions right? Am I going out when I deal with other people? Are my intentions pure? Am I trying to slam this dude? Am I trying to sham this dude? Am I like, yeah, you're the best. Come kick it with us. And then when you get there, I don't record your segments. You know what I mean? Like, where you try to record your segments and not only do I pull your phone, like that's not right intention. That person at that
still do this, but you blocked me. You blocked me on everything else, but we still do this.
It's like, and then you realize, like in that moment, you probably realized, oh, this person never had right intention. Their intention when they first picked up the phone or reached out to me was never right intention, because look how they're behaving. Right intention. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So
I was a bad judgment on intention.
Aren't we all, brother?
Yeah.
But and to be completely accountable, that goes back to the first one.
Yeah.
I did not have right understanding of this person. Therefore, when they moved with wrong intention, my misunderstanding of them allowed me to get caught up in their wrong intention.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Gotcha.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on.
Right speech.
Yes.
I mean, that's simple. You know, I think it's different than let's say a debate. It's different than, that sort of conversation in speech. I mean, that's different. That's allowed, to talk like that in a debate and get little heated and stuff like that. But in your everyday right speech is just kindness and not saying words that cause any hurt to anybody. True. That's what that is. No words that cause hurt. You do that, and you've successfully had your day. Go through your day and don't say anything to hurt anybody else.
I love right speech, man, because it's one of those things that's complex and simple. Mm-hmm. Right speech on its surface, yeah, man. Don't use your words to hurt other people. Use your words to build up other people. Absolutely, yes. Right speech, yes. Yep. But what else?
Then after that, you take the right action to back up that right speech.
But is lying right speech? Maybe I'm not using my word specifically to go, fuck you, you stupid piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. But I'm lying about a person. Or, you know what I find to be the most cutting and the worst of all, bro?
Go.
This is something that's very popular now on social media, and it's not a blatant lie stuff. It's the dishonesty. It's the casting aspersions. It's the whole, I don't know about that guy, man. I got a weird vibe off of him. The other day he was on his show and he kind of alluded to the fact that he might be into some weird stuff. He was talking about, that he likes to watch old movies and some of them are weird. And he was talking about a crazy scene in a movie and it seemed to really turn him on in a way that if you twist it and turn it in a certain kind of way, it could be really weird. I don't know if we should trust this guy. Something's not right about him. He paid us, and yeah, he was cool, and yeah, there is nothing ever we could ever point to that he was wrong or disingenuous or dishonest in any way, shape, or form at all. And in fact, we have a mountain of evidence to the contrary, but man, there's something about that guy. He sniffled wrong. He touched it. I literally have had this. I had one show I was doing. I had bad allergies, and I was like doing this with my nose.
Oh yeah, you can't sniff. Don't sniff. You can't sniff on the podcast.
I go online and they're like, "You're a cokehead. You're a cokehead." Like all these people on Facebook are calling me a coke. I'm like, I will take a blood, not a piss test.
Do not sniff on a podcast.
And you will find no drugs in a blood test that goes back a year, right? Like that's, or a follicle test that goes back 90 days. Whatever. I will take any test. No drugs, bro. I would be happy to admit it if I did. I'd be like, yay, drugs. No
That's
drugs.
why I always keep my roll of toilet paper right next to me. Because if I do have a runny nose because of my medications and stuff,
yeah,
I want people to wipe it.
Yeah.
You look at a show we did. It was maybe it was one of my live streams on YouTube. Right in the middle of all this Buddhist stuff. I had a snot. That was coming out, but I was looking at my cards, card camera, and I look over at the camera, and I just see this long string of snot hanging out my nose. So I had to get the old toilet paper out and wipe it. down.
You,
So
you don't have to tell that story, dog. You don't have
yeah, I
to.
do. Yeah, I do. I'm 51 years old.
I mean, you
I
may
wear
feel
everything
you
on a
need
sleeve.
to, but you don't. I mean, you could.
It's a great story, dude.
You gave
It's a
me
great story.
you gave me the extended dance mix, and I appreciate that. But you could have gave us the radio. You could have sheened it up. You could have polished it up. You could have been like, I had some allergy problems going on, and I
No, I
wasn't
didn't know what
looking
was going on.
right, and
I didn't know
people were
what was
talking.
going on.
Yeah, fair. It was just you did all that coke.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, and then that LSD, and then the heroin.
Hey, don't pick on the good ones. Don't. Hey, easy. You know what I'm saying? If you start talking to shrooms
Don't
and
pick on the
ayahuasca,
sleepy
I'm
ones.
going to be
Leave the
personally
sleepy
hurt.
ones alone. And go after those happy 3-day ones.
Yes.
I love it.
Here's how you know a good drug is when you get done doing it. You're like, whoa, I need a couple of days or a couple of weeks. I do not want to touch that again for a minute. I got to come back down and readjust. That's how you know it's a good drug.
Give me a year and I'll be back.
When